run out of memory. So you're just saying just a little bit of advice you'd give to a young up-and-coming apprentice.
Yeah, well, it's easy to sit there and look at the position I'm in now, or the position that Huey or James or someone like that is in, but what you've got to understand is that we've all put a lot of long, hard years into getting into the position that we're in at the moment, so it doesn't happen overnight. You just got to keep turning up. That's all you've got to do. Don't lose hope. Work as hard as you can. At the end of the day, it comes down to opportunities, and if you don't get them, of course, it's very difficult. But you just got to keep doing all the little things right. It's all those little 1%ers. Continue to try to improve yourself as a jockey. And I asked Gerald Ryan one day. He wouldn't remember now, probably 10 or 12 years ago. I said, "Who's the best jockey?" And he just looked at me and said, "The one that makes the least amount of mistakes." And at the end of the day, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah. Just on a couple of the topics of late, you've been one of the riders, and like you said, you're a strong rider and you're known for being a strong rider, but a lot of the riders that are visiting at the moment are running into these whip rules. What do you make of them?
Yeah, it's not just the ones that are visiting. Obviously, 4 of your leading riders there last week, Huey, James, Blake and Tommy, all got done for the whip rule, and I just don't agree with it. I think it encourages uncompetitive racing.
Yep.
I think if the horses don't want to pick up and don't want to go, well, they just stop. If they think that allowing us to use the whip in whatever manner we feel the last 100 metres is the right way to go, it's not, because your race has already won or lost at the 100 metre mark. Yeah. If you're getting to the 100 metre mark and then you're trying to win your race, it's too late. It's over. It's what you've done prior to that to put yourself in that position at the 100 that enables you to win the race. And there's a lot of horses out there that are waiting to be hit with the whip as a signal to start to pick up and get busy, and the race is on. There's a lot of horses in these staying races that need to have their mind kept on the job. Now, we don't go out there to bash the horses, we don't want to hurt them, but it should be up to the jockey to be able to differentiate whether the horse is responding under the whip or not. Some horses don't really need the whip, you just push away on them. But I just don't think that it's the right way to go. You look at the races in the UK, there's a horse wins by 3 lengths, from 4 lengths back to 3rd to 5 lengths back to 5th. It's because those jockeys can only hit their horse 5 times in a race. Well, the horse just laughs at you. When it wants to stop, it just stops.
Just stops, yeah.
Now, if you want uncompetitive racing, that's a great example of what you're going to end up with. But if you want good, strong competitive racing, like they have in Asia and like they have in Hong Kong, the jockey should have the choice to be able to make the correct decision.
When you need
to use it. And if we feel as if the horse is giving us our best under the whip, then we should have that option to be able to use that.
That's fair enough. And I think you guys are the ones that actually know when and what you use it.
These people that sit in an office and decide what the rules are going to be, they've never ridden a horse, let alone ridden in a race. So they don't understand. I watch golf every day, but I'm not a professional. No. Just because they're watching races every day, they don't get the feel that we get from the horses. Yeah. And they don't understand it properly. And it's the wrong decision, it's a bad rule, and it should be overturned.
I agree. Another thing we touched on just earlier was with tracks. How do you rate the tracks in Hong Kong to the tracks in Australia? Because it's one thing that's been under a lot of pressure in Australia of late.
I find the biggest difference when I come back to Australia is the length of the grass here.
Yep.
I find that there's always a very long, lush length of grass, and I suppose in one respect that may provide cushion, but what it does is if there is any rain, it's harder for the rain to be soaked up out of the track.
Yeah.
And the tracks here I always find are softer, whereas the tracks in Hong Kong, they cut the grass shorter. They've obviously got a different profile underneath. They've got 7 different profiles under the track, which enable the track to dry very quickly. Before every race meeting, and about 10 o'clock in the morning, I quite often look out the window and they've got the sprinklers on the track at Sha Tin, putting a little bit of water on it to keep it in a raceable condition. But I think our tracks are far more consistent. And at the end of the day, your track is your product. If it's consistent, your horses are going to be consistent, the form is consistent, and the punters will bet with more confidence. And it will continue to go like that. Whereas here in Australia, you don't really know what the track is going to be like until you get on it, you race on it. And I know the trainers here might give me a kick up the arse for saying it, but I think the tracks in Australia are too soft. The tracks in Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, they're harder.
Yeah.
And because of that, they run more consistent, more true. And the trainers here might say, yeah, but our horses jar up. But the horses in Asia, they race till they're 10 years old.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, they might jar up a little bit, but it doesn't create injuries. Whereas I feel when the track has got too much give in it, all the horses are doing, and what I feel when I'm riding them, is they're rolling around a lot on the track all the time.
Yeah.
So there's more of a chance of them to wrench their joint, twist their leg, do damage that way.
Makes a lot of sense.
But that's just what I feel. So, you know, I prefer to race on a harder track. I think it's more consistent. The horses get better footing, they feel more comfortable on it, and I think from a punter's point of view, that's how a track should be presented.
Yeah, excellent. What do we see the future for Zac Burton? Do we ever see him move back to Australia and ride here?
It's a tough one. I really enjoy my life in Hong Kong. Obviously only riding 2 days a week gives me the opportunity to have that good work-life balance.
As Pollock would always say, work less, paid more.
Exactly. We also get 2 months of the year off, which I think is something that Australia could do with as well. You know, the racing here is saturated, there's too much racing. When we go away for our off-season, everyone comes back very keen for the start of the new season. There's a lot of attention on it. Even the owners, when I come back, they're like, oh, we can't wait for the racing to start, we can't wait for the races. There's that enthusiasm about it. So I really enjoy those aspects of it. I do miss the racing in Australia, and the quality of horse you have back here. Obviously we have very good horses as well, but we have a very small pool of those good horses. We don't have as many big races as what you have here. There are a number of races in Australia I'd love to win if I can.
What would they be?
Obviously a Melbourne Cup would be at the top of the list, but it's hard to win those races if you're not here full time.
Did you think in speaking to you before the Melbourne Cup on Admire Rugby and even afterwards, you were quite adamant he was the one?
I thought if he didn't have the problem that he had, I thought he would. You know, it's hard to say would it be protectionist, he went so well, but if he didn't win, he would have run a very close second. You know, his running the Corporate Cup was outstanding. Obviously he wasn't right on Melbourne Cup Day, we all know what happened there, but it was very disappointing to come so close to, you know, the Holy Grail in a way and have it slip through your hands like that. But, you know, I've got a few years left and hopefully I'll get another opportunity.
Are you going to keep chasing those Japanese rides? Is that the way you think you can win the Melbourne Cup?
Well, you know, obviously the Melbourne Cup last year didn't really go to plan and things, you know, they didn't take losing that race too well. So, you know, although they've asked me to go back to Japan this off-season, I'm not going to do that. You know, I was a bit tired after my time there last year. I had to ride a kilo lighter there than what I ride in Hong Kong. It really, you know, sat me and took a lot out of me. So I'm going to take a break this year. I'm going to go for a holiday instead. So it'll probably restrict my chance of being able to ride one of their horses in the Melbourne Cup this year, but there are other horses floating around. They might have a runner for me, they may not, but you know, they're not the only people that run a horse in the Melbourne Cup.
That's right.
Plenty other runners as well.
Well, thank you for your time, Doncaster Mining. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Good luck.
Thank you.